It was close to midnight when the rain started. Not a storm, not a single clap of thunder, just a quiet, steady drizzle that softened every sound in the world. It was the kind of rain that makes you want to curl up with a book and a warm drink, the kind that washes the city clean and hushes its constant noise. I was alone at home, sitting by the window, just watching the streetlights blur behind the falling rain. Everything felt slow, calm, almost like the world had paused to take a much-needed breath, to just rest for a while. That's when I heard it, a single knock at my front door. It wasn't loud. It wasn't urgent. Just one soft deliberata. It was the kind of knock that says, I don't want to disturb you, but I don't want to leave without trying. I froze, listening. My heart did a little flip-flop, a mix of surprise and curiosity. Who would be out in this weather, at this hour? I waited, holding my breath, straining to hear anything else, but there was no second knock. No footsteps walking away. The only sound was the gentle, rhythmic patter of the rain against the windowpane. The silence that followed was heavier than the sound had been. Curiosity, stronger than any hesitation, pulled me up from my chair. I moved slowly, quietly, as if trying not to break the spell of the night. My bare feet were silent on the cool floor. As I approached the door, a dozen possibilities ran through my mind. A neighbor needing help. A package delivered late. Or maybe I had just imagined it. A trick of the rain in the late hour. I reached for the doorknob, its cold metal a stark contrast to the warmth of my hand. I took a deep breath and turned it. When I opened the door, the street was empty. The rain fell in thin, silver lines, illuminated by the soft glow of the street lamps. The air smelled clean and cold, that fresh, earthy scent that only comes with a gentle rain. For a moment, I thought I really had imagined it. I was about to close the door and go back to my window seat, but something at the edge of my porch caught my attention. Figure. It was standing just beyond the reach of my porch light, half hidden in the shadows and the downpour. Still, silent. It was just there. The figure was standing in the rain, seemingly untouched by it. Not close enough for me to see clearly, but not far enough to ignore. It was watching me. But the feeling I got wasn't one of menace or threat. It was an odd gentleness, a quiet sense of observation that felt almost protective. The figure seemed more like a shadow than a person, soft around the edges, its form blurred and shaped by the falling rain and the darkness of the night. But I didn't feel fear. A strange warmth seemed to radiate from it, a comforting presence that pushed back against the cold, damp air. My initial alarm faded, replaced by an inexplicable sense of peace. I stood there in the doorway, the cool mist settling on my face, just looking at this silent visitor. Then it tilted its head slightly. A small, inquisitive gestude. As it did, the street lights flickered. Not like the electricity was failing, not a sudden on-and-off, but more like the light itself had dimmed and brightened in response. A soft pulse, acknowledging the figure's movement. It was a beautiful, impossible moment. Finding my voice, I whispered into the night, my words barely louder than the rain. Do you need help? It felt like the only question to ask. The figure didn't move, didn't step closer into the light. It remained perfectly still. But something else happened. The rain, immediately around it, seemed to slow down. For just a heartbeat, the droplets hung suspended in the air, glittering like tiny diamonds, before continuing their fall. It was as if time itself had softened around this mysterious presence. Then, a quiet voice drifted to me through the rain, as soft as a breath, yet perfectly clear. Just checking. You're not alone tonight. The words weren't a question or a statement, but a reassurance. They settled over me like a warm blanket. Before I could form a reply, before I could ask who it was or what it meant, the figure began to fade. It wasn't a sudden disappearance. It was more like it was melting back into the rainfall, a shadow dissolving into water at night. The edges blurred further, the form softened, and then it was simply gone. The space where it had stood was now just empty air and falling rain. The street lights steadied, their orange glow returning to its normal, constant hum. The rhythm of the rain returned to its steady beat. Everything on the street felt exactly the same as it had moments before except for me. I slowly closed the door, the click of the latch sounding loud in the sudden stillness of the house. As I turned back into my living room, the space felt different. It felt warmer, brighter, as if someone had gone through and lit a candle in every room. The silence that had felt empty and vast just a little while ago now felt full and peaceful. The night, which had seemed so heavy and lonely, now felt light and comforting. The weight I hadn't even realized I was carrying had been lifted. I went back to the window, but this time I wasn't just watching the rain. I was feeling it, feeling the quiet connection to the world outside. And sometimes now, on quiet rainy nights, just like that one, I find myself listening. I listen for that single, soft knock, the one that doesn't ask to come in, that doesn't demand anything, the one that's just a gentle reminder, a quiet message carried on the rain, a reminder that even in the darkest, most silent hours, I'm still here, I'm still safe, and I'm still not alone. It's a strange comfort, a little secret the night shared with me, and I'll never forget it. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to subscribe for more.